Why would Ryan have to do this? Well, you see, Ryan had a bigger problem. And his problem stems from what happened between his wife, Blake Lively, and a guy named Justin Baldoni.
Blake Lively might have just done herself in this battle with Justin Baldoni, although she didn't do it intentionally. It was something she said
long before she ever worked with Justin Baldoni.
Right, but there's something she said that has now been resurfaced, and it is right on the nose.
Things just got a whole lot messier with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And guess what? Ryan Reynolds just got officially kicked out of Wrexham ownership right after Blake got caught lying. This whole lawsuit drama is turning into a full-blown disaster, and it looks like the once picture-perfect Reynolds family is falling apart right before our eyes. When Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney first took over Wrexham, people were both surprised and excited. Ryan quickly became the face of the ownership, showing up at games, interacting with fans, and constantly hyping up the team on social media. Fans loved him, not just as an investor, but as someone who truly cared about the club. But now all of that goodwill has come crashing down. With Ryan's sudden removal, Wrexham supporters are left wondering what really went down behind the scenes. What did Blake do that was bad enough to get him kicked out? For those who have no idea how this whole mess started, let's break it down. It all began with shocking allegations. Blake Lively claimed she was SA'd on the set of It Ends With Us. And the person accused? None other than Justin Baldoni, the film's leading man and director. From there, things spiraled completely out of control. The details weren't adding up, and soon enough, the situation turned into a full-blown legal battle. Justin Baldoni, along with Jimmy Heath, Wayfair Studios, and his publicist, fired the first shot by suing the New York Times, the outlet that originally published Blake's claims. But that was just round one. Then came the second lawsuit. This time, Justin went directly after Blake and Ryan Reynolds. And this is where things got wild. We're talking Game of Thrones level backstabbing, Taylor Swift drama, and some seriously shady text messages surfacing. In his lawsuit, Justin claims that the New York Times worked with Blake to manipulate the story, cherry-picking details and leaving out key facts to make him and his team look guilty. He insists that before the article was published, he and his legal team told the newspaper that Blake's version of events wasn't true. But despite that, the story still went live 2 hours early, which Justin believes was a calculated move to control the narrative.
I'm blaming the New York Times for participating with Blake Lively's publicists and engaging in this campaign.
And as for Blake, well, instead of jumping straight into the lawsuit, she took a different route. She filed a right to sue letter with the California Civil Rights Department. This move let her skip the discovery process and keep things hush-hush. But now that everything is out in the open, Justin's team is calling her out, saying she never planned to actually sue. She just wanted to make herself look more believable. One of Blake's biggest accusations, that Justin and his team used their media connections to launch a smear campaign against her. She even brought out text messages that seemed to prove it, but Justin's team wasn't having it. They fired back, claiming Blake edited those messages to make it look like there was a full-blown effort to destroy her reputation. To prove their point, Justin's side dropped their own receipts. These leaked internal messages showed that Justin's team was actually worried about Blake's PR team pushing fake positive press in her favor. In one of the messages, Justin himself asks, "How can we prove we aren't doing this? It looks bad." A colleague reassures him that Blake's team is behind the media spin, while another PR rep brushes it off, saying people are just reacting to Blake's own actions. And it doesn't stop there. Justin's lawsuit even claims that Blake manipulated messages to fit her side of the story. In one example, she shared a text exchange where someone sent an article titled, "Could Blake Lively be canceled?" And a team member replied, "Wow, you outdid yourself with this. Sounds shady, right?" Well, Justin's team says Blake conveniently removed emojis and sarcasm from the message, turning what was meant as a joke into something that looked serious. Now, if you're wondering where Ryan Reynolds fits into all this chaos, oh, trust me, he's right in the middle of it. As this whole drama unfolds, it turns out that Blake wasn't just acting in It Ends With Us, she was trying to take creative control. She allegedly pushed Justin to let her edit and rewrite scenes, a privilege that no other actress had on set. But because Justin was so accommodating, he let her do it. And well, that decision came back to bite him. But here's the real kicker. Ryan wasn't just a supportive husband cheering from the sidelines. He was in on it too. Reports suggest that he actually helped rewrite parts of the script. One cast member even confirmed that Ryan made major changes to multiple scenes, something that almost no other actor would be allowed to do. But since Blake was involved, the usual Hollywood rules didn't apply. According to the staff, Blake and Ryan constantly tweaked lines, reworked scenes, and disrupted the production, making things tense on set. Blake played Justin perfectly, showering him with compliments, calling him one of the best directors she's ever worked with. She claimed other directors had never let her contribute creatively, and Justin, wanting to be fair, gave her the freedom she wanted. But that decision, it backfired massively when she rewrote a crucial rooftop scene, the scene that changed everything.
Will you please get down from there?
I'm good, thanks.
According to Justin and his legal team, Blake made sure everyone knew that Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift loved her version of the scene. She even invited Justin to her penthouse, where Ryan and Taylor hyped up her writing, making Justin feel like he had no choice but to keep it in the movie. Later, Justin even texted her, praising her talent and saying he'd try to incorporate her ideas into the final cut. And this is where the Game of Thrones comparisons started. Blake actually referred to herself as Khaleesi, saying she had dragons, aka Taylor and Ryan, who would always back her up. And she wasn't just name-dropping. She was making it very clear that she held real power in both the movie and music industries. She knew exactly how to use her influence to get what she wanted. But Blake didn't stop at one scene. She wanted control over the entire script. Justin, trying to keep the peace, let her make changes daily, hoping to avoid conflict. But the more he allowed it, the worse it got. Blake began questioning every single directing decision, causing even more chaos behind the scenes.
To do with, the brilliance of Blake Lively. I don't think people realize how involved she was in this movie. She was extremely involved, and she really made the film better. And especially when it came to intimacy and all of that, like, she had a very clear vision, and she was telling me what she thought would work and what she thought.
Now, here's where things get really ironic. Around the exact time Blake claimed that Justin harassed her, she was still inviting him over and texting him nonstop. If she was so uncomfortable, why was she constantly reaching out to him? And not just that, her messages were full of praise. She complimented the film clips, raved about his directing, and even asked for more footage. And you know why people believed Justin over Blake? Because Justin had real receipts. His legal team didn't just talk, they delivered proof. They gave everyone a sneak peek into one of the biggest claims in Blake's lawsuit. Blake accused Justin of getting way too intimate during a scene that was supposed to be silent. She claimed that he whispered to her in a way that made her uncomfortable, and even caressed her cheek and neck, something that wasn't in the script. Sounds serious, right? But here's the problem. Blake didn't see the plot twist coming. Justin dropped the real footage, and guess what? The leaked clips completely contradict her claims. The raw footage showed that the entire moment was taken out of context. The so-called whispering and touching didn't happen the way she said it did.
I'm so nosy.
I know. And my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Before the leaked video clip blew up, Blake didn't realize that audio was being recorded during the scene she claimed was harassment. But when the footage surfaced, it told a completely different story. Turns out both Justin and Blake were in character the entire time. In fact, Blake herself suggested they talk during the scene to make it look more romantic in slow motion. It was all about nailing the perfect shot. Nothing inappropriate happened. But here's where things took a turn. Blake still went ahead and accused Justin of harassment and body shaming. And to make matters worse, she reportedly manipulated Ryan into believing Justin was the bad guy, even though Ryan and Justin had never worked together before. Now let's talk about Taylor Swift, because her name just got dragged into this mess. And fans, they are not happy. There's even speculation that Taylor might be separating herself from Blake, realizing that Blake used her as a pawn in her own industry drama. And the tea? Taylor did not invite Blake to the Super Bowl this year, an invite she's regularly extended to her friends in the past. Ouch. But here's where it gets interesting. Sources say that even if Taylor had invited Blake, she wouldn't have gone anyway. She wasn't about to show up and have her legal drama overshadow Taylor and Travis Kelce's big moment. Last year, Blake was right there in the VIP suite, cheering on the Chiefs with Taylor's inner circle. But now, things have changed drastically. Taylor, who's now tangled in Blake's legal battle with Justin Baldoni, is keeping a low profile. And let's not forget, Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit alleges that Blake used Taylor's name to sabotage his film. That's next-level messy. Sources told the Daily Mail that Taylor isn't trying to shade Blake by not inviting her. She just doesn't want drama. But behind the scenes, Taylor reportedly resents Blake for calling her one of her dragons. Yeah, that did not sit well with her. And here's where things get even wilder. Taylor allegedly had no idea Justin Baldoni was even going to be there when she visited Blake's apartment. The timing, a little too convenient. The source claims Blake orchestrated it so Taylor would arrive just as Baldoni was leaving. But it gets worse. Taylor also learned that Blake has been name-dropping her in ways that aren't even true. For example, Blake reportedly told a young actress that Taylor personally cast her, which, according to insiders, never happened. This all comes months after Blake got dragged online when old clips resurfaced, showing that people found her hard to relate to. And get this, insiders say that Taylor actually tried to help her years ago, advising her to tone things down. The problem? Blake has never been the type to hold back, and now that seems to be backfiring big time. Oh, but if you think this whole drama is bad for Blake, wait until you hear what's happening with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan, who has mostly stayed out of Blake's legal mess, is now facing his own set of problems, and it's all happening on the football field. As many fans know, Ryan, alongside Rob McElhenney, took over Wrexham AFC when the club was struggling in the National League, the fifth tier of English football. But thanks to their leadership and a ton of media attention, the club pulled off an incredible comeback, securing back-to-back promotions and climbing into League One. Now Wrexham is right in the middle of a battle for another promotion, with hopes of reaching the championship. Their competition? Teams like Stockport County, Birmingham City, Wycombe Wanderers, and Huddersfield Town. But here's where things get complicated. According to the Mirror, Ryan is rumored to be part of a consortium looking to take over MLS side Vancouver Whitecaps, his hometown club. This isn't just a side project either. Ryan and Rob are already involved in another club, Mexican team Necaxa. So what does this mean for Wrexham? Fans are not happy about the possibility of Ryan splitting his focus between multiple clubs. Some believe that Wrexham's success has been heavily dependent on Ryan and Rob's full investment, both financially and emotionally. If Ryan shifts his attention to Vancouver, Wrexham fans fear that the club could lose momentum, especially now that they're fighting for another promotion. To make matters worse, some Whitecaps fans aren't thrilled either. Many are skeptical about whether Ryan's involvement would actually improve the club, or if this is just another Hollywood-style PR move. While his investment in Wrexham has been widely praised, not everyone believes he can replicate that success in the MLS. But why would Ryan even consider taking over the Vancouver Whitecaps? Well, for one, it's his hometown club. Being involved in Vancouver would be a full-circle moment for him, especially given his growing passion for football. Secondly, MLS offers way more commercial opportunities than a lower-league English club. With the rise of American soccer and the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup being hosted in North America, investing in an MLS team could be a huge business move. Oh, but this story only gets more interesting. Ryan Reynolds' connection to Vancouver Whitecaps isn't exactly new. In fact, Wrexham actually played against the MLS club in a preseason match last year. That might have just seemed like a friendly game at the time, but now it's looking more like a strategic move, one that could signal a much bigger investment plan. But let's be real, this deal is on a whole different level compared to his Wrexham purchase. Back when Ryan and Rob McElhenney took over the Welsh club, they did it for an estimated £2 million, a relatively small sum in the world of football. This potential Vancouver Whitecaps deal, we're talking about a massive investment, likely in the range of £300 million or more. That's a huge leap and one that would require significant outside funding. So, is Ryan really planning to go all in on this? Or is this just a rumor drummed up to stir interest in the club? At this point, there's no actual offer on the table, and it's possible that the current owners are using Ryan's name to generate buzz for a sale. But here's the thing. Ryan has been known to explore different investment opportunities, and with his personal ties to Vancouver, it's not out of the question that he'd be seriously considering this. But right after this whole rumor started flying, another backlash hit Ryan Reynolds again, this time over a scheduling conflict involving Wrexham AFC. Following the Super Bowl, Reynolds found himself at the center of criticism after Wrexham's League One match against Leyton Orient, originally set for last Saturday, was postponed due to Orient's FA Cup tie against Manchester City, and later rescheduled for Tuesday, February 18th. The announcement made through Leyton Orient's official X account stated that they were mandated to play on that date, which sparked outrage among their supporters, who felt forced into the decision with little notice. Many fans were frustrated by the short turnaround, particularly because it's a midweek away game, making travel difficult. In response, Leyton Orient decided to offer free coach travel to ease the burden on supporters. However, despite not having direct control over scheduling decisions, Reynolds and fellow Wrexham co-owner Rob McElhenney became the target of angry comments on social media, with some fans accusing the Hollywood duo of influencing the decision in favor of Wrexham. One furious fan called the move absolutely disgusting and claimed that the decision was made to benefit Wrexham's growing U.S. audience, while another said they don't like anyone taking the limelight away from the Hollywood Welsh. The backlash even included accusations that the EFL was favoring Wrexham to ensure their continued success. However, Leyton Orient CEO Mark Devlin stepped in to clarify that the decision was made due to Wrexham's tight schedule and their continued participation in the Virtu Motors Trophy, which left few available dates for rescheduling. While the EFL has not made an official statement, it is understood that both clubs were informed about the proposed date well in advance, and the primary reason for the scheduling change was the growing fixture congestion later in the season. Despite the clarification, the backlash against Reynolds continues. As for Blake and her lawsuit, things are only getting messier, and it seems more and more likely that Ryan Reynolds, along with Taylor Swift, could be called as witnesses if this case makes it to court. The tension surrounding this situation has escalated dramatically, with many fans already turning their backs on Blake, claiming that her public image as the sweet, down-to-earth star was nothing more than an illusion. Some believe this is just proof of what insiders have been saying all along, that Blake has always had a mean streak and an inflated ego, feeling as though Hollywood was hers to command. The backlash has been swift and brutal, with social media buzzing about her alleged behavior and questioning whether she ever truly deserved the America's Sweetheart label. What's making this even more chaotic is the unexpected move by Justin, who some say Blake never saw coming. Many speculate that she thought he would either stay silent or support her, but instead, he's actively fighting against her, and that changes everything. His involvement is a major twist, especially considering what's at stake. There's no way he's letting that $400 million slip away without a battle. And let's not forget, this isn't just about Blake anymore. With Ryan and Taylor potentially being dragged into the courtroom, this is turning into one of Hollywood's biggest legal and social media dramas in years. If either of them testifies, it could shift public opinion even further, either confirming or disproving the rumors about Blake's alleged behavior behind the scenes. The situation is unfolding like a real-life Hollywood blockbuster. Betrayals, legal battles, and high-profile names being thrown into the mix. Fans are divided, insiders are whispering, and the media is feasting on every new development. Will Blake be able to salvage her reputation? Will Justin push forward with full force?